Now, throughout this whole journey, right, when you'll be saying no to a lot of these things, right, you'll be saying no to various kind of distractions out there. And basically, you are consistently putting in the inputs into the machine. You're trying to get the outputs. You have the environment set up, right? And now you are stuck in this stage and you are basically waiting for that growth, right? What will happen is during this time, you will experience something called as failure, right? Things will get tough, right? Things might not work out according to the plan. Things might break, systems might break. You might expect something to go in A direction, but it might end up going in B direction. And guess what? That's completely normal. And I want to give you the permission to feel okay about it. Why? Because think about this. Talk to any successful person out there, right? It doesn't need to be in monetary terms. They could have literally achieved success in any area. You would always notice that they will tell you that, hey, I first failed so many times and then I succeeded, right? Everybody you talk to, as you hear great stories about Edison, Steve Jobs and whatnot as well, they'll tell you the same thing, right? Now, the question to you is that if failure is the recipe to success, then why is failing not okay? Why are you so afraid of failure, right? Because think about this. If we understand that according to the time curve, if we are consistently putting in the right inputs into the machine, right, and it will take time, a long-term vision in order to achieve what we truly desire, then it's totally normal to expect failure throughout the way, right? And when this failure happens, you'll have two choices. Option number one is you could just give up and then do nothing about it. And if you do, then you'll never get to see the compounding truly come into place, right? It's kind of like you getting distracted only. The second thing is, right, you fail and then do nothing about it, right? And there's also a third thing that you can do, actually, which would be to reflect about the pain. So every time I have failed within my business or anything in life, what I've always done is I have maintained something called as a journal, right? So what I would do is I would pen down my thoughts within this journal, right? And whenever I would fail, right, I would write down my learning lessons from this particular failure. And I would try to reflect within my journal and find out, what was the failure about, what happened, how can I make sure that it doesn't happen next time, right? And my biggest lessons from it, right? And this information, when compounded over time, will be the biggest asset within your business, which will allow you to have an unfair advantage over everybody else, because this journal will contain your reflections, which are super important. I sometimes write journals about it. I sometimes use online software to write. I sometimes even make YouTube videos about my failures as well, right? And that's completely normal to do that, right? In fact, quite recently, as the company grew, we literally within 1 year went from 4 to 5 employees to like around 30 employees, right? And that growth was like too much, and things broke during that time, or we did not have the right kind of HR systems. We did not have the right kind of policies in place. We did not have the exact measurement standards in order to ensure that our culture stays strong even when we are scaling. And as a result of that, I decided to face a lot of challenges, right? So because of that, I failed in order to sustain, so many people. So as a result of that, we had to let go of a few individuals, build back our policies and then get back on track with the right kind of systems. Now, if I hadn't failed and reflected upon the same within my journal, I wouldn't have learned the lesson that, okay, this is something that I need to do in order to take things to the next level. And similarly, you must also try to do the same, right? You will pick up the phone and chances are your prospect might say no to you. You might try to do that webinar and chances are people might not show up. But my suggestion to you is stay consistent, right? Make sure that you do not give up and keep making progress. And keep reflecting about the same, right? Because if you reflect and do nothing about it and you still fail at the same thing again, then you are making no progress, okay? So my suggestion to you is, if you're failing, but if you're failing at the same thing again and again, you're just not doing a good enough job of reflecting upon the same. Understand it, get help around it. There are a lot of people who could help you, people who have actually walked the path that you wish to walk. Get the solution to that and make sure that you do not make the same mistake again and again. because then that is just called stupidity, in my opinion.